So I'm Matt Lebon with Custom Foodscaping. Foodscaping is very similar to landscaping, except we use food producing plants. So we might have, instead of planting a hydrangea, we might plant a bush serviceberry or a blueberry instead. I would say there's absolutely enough space to get started because there's so many cool, compact growing plants. One of the ones that we just talked about was the fig. Figs in our climate do not get very big, and they're great compact plants. They fruit on first year growth. So even if you keep them small, you can get fruits. And then probably the easiest to grow fruits of all are berries, and pretty much all the berry producers are really compact. So blueberries and blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, like these things can be tucked in any little urban space and provide that whole experience of connecting with some of the food that you're growing. I would also add that vines are often overlooked as things that you can grow in compact spaces. So things like grapes and kiwis can be grown up existing trellises and fences and arbors and decks, and that may be the only space you've got, but if you can just eke out a little bit of space, you can grow a grape up a wall. If you're feeling intimidated by this, starting with some of the easier to grow fruits is really key. And some of the things like the service berries or some of the native fruits, aronias and the clove currant, the pawpaw, the native persimmon. A lot of times native fruits are more forgiving because they don't have nearly as much pest and disease pressure. There's way too much grass in the landscape. We in America, we love our grass landscape. So a lot of the time, one of the ways we can start to break that up is by planting what we call a foodscape island, which is basically just a planting within the grass that we see, commonly done in ornamental landscapes. But, plant a fruit tree, something that maybe doesn't have much pest or disease issues, like that serviceberry, for example, that we like to plant in front yards. And then around it, we can plant perennial herbs or things like strawberries as a ground cover. And then, that would just be a really simple combination of plants, a strawberry ground cover with a fruit tree around it. Starting small is really the key, and just even starting with one plant is a great way to begin. If we think about edible landscaping as a complement to traditional landscaping, it might just mean that we go ahead and try, one pie cherry, and that's the only thing we plant, and it is just getting a feel for what is it like to have a fruit tree. And I think maybe most importantly, we can't underestimate the power of children growing up around a few plants like this and what the impact is, because I can't tell you how many clients of ours are people who said, we grew up with a few fruit trees and, I never really thought about it, and then they are coming to us as adults now that they're homeowners, and they know what it is to just have a few fruit trees in the yard, and that makes a big difference in terms of getting over that intimidation. So I would say if you're feeling intimidated, that's because maybe you didn't have this experience growing up, and maybe we should be giving that to all of our kids so that they can approach adulthood and the landscapes, and they can feel like, I don't need to just plant one or two, like I know what this is about and I can plant a lot more.